You're listening to the Paracasual Destiny Podcast, episode 44. Hello and welcome to the Casual Players Corner of Destiny, and thanks for tuning in. We broadcast live every other Saturday night at 7 p.m., and I think we're just about on time tonight, which is unusual. And you can find the archived audio of this broadcast wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Sultime, and we are here tonight with Romance Girl.
Hello.
Hello. The Green Stego.
Hello.
Hello. Do you like to put the in front of Green Stego sometimes? Make it sound like an old 1950s sci-fi horror.
I've heard it both ways.
And of course, Salliebug is back with us after a
Hello, everyone.
bit of a hiatus.
It's been a while.
Yeah. And wow, lots to talk about because we skipped last week, so it's been 3 weeks instead of 2 weeks since our last broadcast. And yeah, that means 3 twabs have gone under the bridge since we last spoke.
Come and gone.
And boy, that last episode, that got a lot of hits. I think whenever Richard's on, it seems there's quite a few hits. About 20% more people tune in. I don't know why that is, but that seems to be how it's been going.
You should take my place permanently.
Well, is that your resignation letter?
No, we miss Salliebug.
No, yeah, it wouldn't be the Paracasual Destiny podcast for sure without the Salliebug.
I'm just going to put the in front of everybody now.
Yeah. So you sound like a creature from some campy horror movie. So I listed a few things. I went over the last few twabs, and we kind of finished. We were ending with Festival of the Lost, which I think we talked about quite a bit. And then came the Iron Banner, which I was personally kind of excited about because of the glowy armor that they introduced for the Iron Banner. So I made it a point to finally use some of that synthweave from 801, and I got myself all gussied up for the Iron Banner using the Universal Ornaments feature that is included with the game, free of charge.
Nice.
Yeah. Anybody else do any Iron Banner last time round?
I did a little bit.
Oh, yeah. You were trying to finish up a quest from Season of the Splicer, as I recall.
Yeah,
Salliebug.
and then hit that hiccup, and I was like, why did I even bother? But, you know.
Yeah, the melees weren't counting, right?
Yeah, the melees weren't counting. It didn't matter what kind of melee it was. Just wasn't going to trigger. So I finally just deleted it. I don't know why I was
but
even
that
going
was after
that
reading
quest.
20 Reddit posts and watching 5 YouTubes. And then you think you're going to be the one that figures out the workaround, and
just make sure that it was actually a bug and it was a thing, and it was, and that's fine.
Yeah, you got to abandon that one, pick up the fresh one next time around.
Abandoned that one, yeah. Maybe pick up the next one that comes around in December.
Yeah.
If I'm so inclined. I find myself liking to go into the Crucible, even the Iron Banner, less and less these days. So.
Well, wait a minute. Can we back up here? You were having a grand time. A grand time in the Iron Banner.
Grand time?
You were kind of having fun, I might dare say. One thing we can say, Salliebug and I went in as a team into the Iron Banner and played a good number of matches. And I think what kept spirits up despite your bugged quest from Season of the Splicer, what kept our spirits up was it seemed like there were a lot less blowouts, like I'm calling it.
Yeah, I'll definitely say that.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like, I don't know if they've made a change to the matchmaking or if it's just because you and I were in together.
Right, I don't know.
So we were in a different pool.
Right.
We weren't in the, but I did,
Good
even
news,
like
though.
after you and I weren't playing, I did freelance and it still wasn't doing a lot of blowouts. At least in my opinion. What did you guys play at all?
I did not. I haven't played Iron Banner in forever. Been all.
I was actually thinking about that. I think it's been since like Season of the Chosen, maybe.
Well, there
Since
is
I
new
last
It's not like
armor.
we're purposefully avoiding it, but just somehow every time it comes around, we're not there for it.
Right.
Right.
The stars
And it's
just
not
don't
kind of
align.
priority.
Because it's like it's the best way for me to get pinnacle gear.
Right.
And now my
That is
character's at
true.
the soft cap of this season, a little bit above. I'm at 1321, and so I would probably, I would have benefited from completing those pinnacle bounties, but I just
And at least two of them are pretty accessible. It's just play games or
Capture
I forget
zones.
what the other one, capture zones.
Yeah.
So
I usually get
I
3
find
out
that
of
I
the
can
4.
usually get those two. The other two are a little bit of too much of a grind.
But yeah, it just
but there
hasn't.
was that
Yeah, it
one
just hasn't
time when I
lined
was
up for
not-
us.
I ended up being home on a Monday during Iron Banner. We talked about this last time. Iron Banner came around and I played on Monday and it was a dream. So if I were available during the
That's
day
when
on Monday,
You were having fun.
that's the time to do it. But that's not usually I'm not usually available for that. So
Well, moving on. Next topic. Now, this has been ongoing, and it's been a recurring theme over the last 3 TWABs, last few weeks, is the ongoing Trials revamp experiments. And I have not played Trials at all. I have not tried this one little bit. I should. I know I should.
Kind of hard to comment on it, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
it
we're
is.
just not Trials players.
Other than the podcasts we listen to and sort of the YouTube content we keep up to date with, and I kind of deleted Twitter on my phone, so I haven't been on Twitter as much to see what all the positivity is surrounding the Trials experiments. But we watched today. We watched a little Fallout plays, and he was in there doing the latest lab trials this weekend, which is a capture zone. And it looked like he was honestly having some fun. Of course, it's it's card based up until Sunday, and then they go back to the flawless pools. So
yeah, they're
switching it around
kind
a
of
lot.
backtracked because they tried out a win based matchmaking,
Right.
I guess, for a weekend, and that was not well received.
Well, by the vocal
at least in the
minority,
social
anyway.
media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't like it. But yeah, we really can't. I will say this. How does everybody feel about the direction, what they're doing here? Is it worthwhile? Is it good for the game to have Trials be something?
I think there's a pool of players that are very committed to it, and
An even smaller pool of devs who are very committed to it.
Yeah, I think there's I don't know.
I think it's worth having a pinnacle PvP activity. Yes.
Right.
I am
I
with
feel
you there.
I feel that, and especially from veteran players like us, we're casual, but we've been playing this game a long time. And I feel like Trials was the lifeblood of the game in D1 for a period of time there. It really gave the game some longevity and carried it through into Destiny 2. So there's a place in my heart for it. But what they're doing now, sometimes I feel like they're asking for the impossible. They want an end game PvP competitive mode, but they also want a huge population in it to make it good. So they're trying to get new players, lower skilled players to come in to the game mode at the same time, rewarding the highly skilled players. And it's just seems like you can't do both, or it's very, very difficult to find that balance. And their heart's in the right place. They're trying to find, they're giving percentages on like the 5-0 blowouts and everything, and trying to implement changes that would like lessen the blowouts and make it a little more interesting. So there's more 5-3 matches, or even 5-4, 5-3 matches instead of 5-0.
Right.
So I get what they're doing. That being said, I feel like they've done a miraculous job with the cheating and account recovs. But again, Salliebug and I have talked about this, balancing the discouraging measures that discourage account recovs interferes with the streamer's desire to do carries. Some of the time it's at odds. The desire to achieve to shut out the account recovs
because it's supposed
business.
to be 3v3, not 3v1.
Exactly. I don't know. It's just they've taken on a really large task here. I wish them luck.
Yeah.
I hope something comes of it, and I hope there's at least, and nothing lasts. Video games don't last forever. Although this one has some legs. I mean, it's lasted for 7 years and it's still going pretty strong, and it's finding itself in so many ways. I hope the Trials tradition and piece of the game and PvP in general remains healthy going forward. I'm hoping there's good things in Witch
Queen. It seems like they're
I would love a mode for us.
Actively trying to figure out a way for it to exist in the game in a way that discourages cheating, but encourages people like us who don't do it, but it, I don't know, trying to get us to say, hey, why don't you give this mode a go?
I mean, you're only going to go in and get pub stomped for so long,
right.
And then you're going to leave.
Right.
And then if you're a top tier player, you're only going to sweat matches for so long, where you can't do carries on your stream or make content for your YouTube channel. That's going to get old too if it's just all sweaty. So they're trying to find a middle ground there for everyone. It's tough. I wish them luck. It'll be interesting to see what comes of it.
That's what Bungie does, though. They do what's never been done before.
They boldly go where no game has gone before. On a lighter note, we would like to, here on the podcast, extend a warm welcome to the new community managers that have come on board. Sam and Liana have joined, I almost said Deej, DMG and Cosmo as community managers. So that's exciting. Now we've got 4 community managers now. The game should be running pretty smooth now, I would think.
And there
the community's gotten bigger.
Right, and I think there are other members of the community manager team or the community team. I don't know if they're considered
Yeah, like
community managers,
Griffin.
but
Right.
yeah, exactly. There's Griffin, and then there's another one that's kind of
Nicole.
another.
There's a Russian dude
I know there's a
too.
whole team now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's. I mean, I think that that's good because I think that it's the community's too big for just one person, and
Yeah. Although I
to
think
have-
Deej could handle it single-handedly, honestly.
Well, I mean, the community
I
was
don't know about
smaller when
that.
Deej was handling it too, when he ended up having to bring on others. So.
Yep. No.
I think that it's good because the community has gotten big and you want to hear the voices of everybody, and that it's nice that they have that they're finding others.
Question for Green Stego and Romance Girl. Did you guys get solicited from Bungie to do a survey recently?
Yes.
Did you do the survey?
I am looking at it now.
They sweeten the pot. It's like if you do get chosen to Zoom with them, it's like $450. So
Yeah, and a diary. You keep a diary, it looks like.
Yep. Yeah. I went ahead and
it's
did
like a week-long
I filled
thing,
it out. Yeah, I
and
filled
it
it
sounds
out.
like they're going to be like certain tasks that they're going to ask you to do, and you'll just keep a journal of it.
It's very cool that they're doing this kind of research.
Yeah, and I think that's great. So
I think
we'll see that where
I think
that
it's
goes.
way cool.
I mean, I don't hold out any hope that I filled out the survey too. I don't hold out any hope that I would get picked, but seems interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the survey. I did search my email. I don't regularly search my personal email anymore. Because I just find myself tired of email after checking work email. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's there. I'll fill out the survey.
Yeah. I mean, I like the concept, right? Because I feel like the concept is, hey, we want some feedback that's a little more focused rather than what people spew out on social media, Reddit or Twitter. It's a little more constructive and a little more broad reaching than doing one of those like community summits.
Mm-hmm.
So right, because it's going to capture a lot more, like the summits are great, but they really are talking about people who like they pull in people who do the game for a living. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's always best to get as many perspectives as possible.
Yeah, so I even if I don't get chosen, I appreciate what they're doing here, the concept. So
I do too. I'm gonna try something here. Oh my goodness, that kind of is crazy right now. Let me just see if I can.
rain? What are you talking about?
No, oh yeah, we are having a storm over here. No, I'm trying to put the TWAB notes up of the weapons changes here.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna crop it a little bit on the fly here. This is a professional show, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, let's talk about the weapons changes as well that were in the latest TWAB just last Thursday. Did anybody get to see that or read about that?
Honestly, it's a long list.
It really
It's
is.
a
It really
it's
is.
it's so exhaustive.
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah, it really is. To summarize, everything's getting a buff I'm sure there's going to be some more nerfs coming along, and there is kind of like a nerf buff thing going on with some of these things, but shotguns are getting a buff in PvE. Linear fusion rifles, which I was surprised by, are getting a 10% damage increase in PvE. Maybe they're, I'm thinking with the linear fusion rifles, they might be thinking for next season they want that anyway when the, what is it called? Particle, whatever, that makes it insane.
Construction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Called
When that goes
accelerator.
away, they'll still want them to be used. So maybe
feel
that's
like
why they're doing
That kind of happened. That's kind of been happening for a couple seasons where they put a mod like this to kind of like encourage the community to use this weapon type,
Yeah.
and then they get a lot more data on it.
Right.
Or like accounting for the damage buffs. that
I
they're doing.
haven't taken off my fusion rifles. Can't stop. Won't stop.
Yeah, I've been using them quite a bit myself. So
Sorry, I'm getting ahead of ourselves though.
But
Oh, that's okay.
Based on this whole list, I don't know if we're gonna like go through. I hopefully
No,
not go through it piece by piece.
No.
But I am happy. The thing that stood out to me, I think, probably the most was the fact that they're changing the cryosthesia 77K.
Oh, well, that's you're jumping
to-
way down to the exotics down here, but yeah, you did seem very happy about that.
Well, I couldn't use it. I couldn't adjust my mindset for shooting the gun to it, like doing it on release. Like I couldn't do it. So
Yeah, you were frustrated.
but
I've never
I
seen
just-
you cry over a video game until
Come
then.
on. I did not.
Well,
cry.
not
Anyway.
cry, but you know what I mean. Just complete anguish.
No, I gave up. I was like, I can't use this gun, so I just put it in my vault. So I'm looking forward to being able to pull it out of my vault and possibly give it a go again.
So what we learn here? We learn that Salliebug does not like variable trigger. She only likes guns that fire on the trigger press instead of the trigger release.
Yes.
It's an odd feeling, actually. And I noticed that the, what is it? The Devil's Rune does the same thing. Devil's Rune sidearm. When you're just pew-pewing with it instead of just holding and like a fusion rifle. Anyway, so yeah, also the charge shot moved to special reload. Getting a final blow with the sidearm enables access to the special reload. Once the charge shot is fired, the weapon reverts back to standard sidearm mode. Does not cost your entire magazine. They made it better. I can't wait. And I've got the catalyst done for that too, so I'm going to pull that out when this change goes into effect.
That's impressive too.
Yeah. And so for the archetypes, they're also busting. Yeah, they're going to be busted. They're already busted. I think swords. The caster swords are getting a buff, less ammo cost for doing the heavy attack on those. Bows are getting a 10%.
Not the headphones.
Yeah. Bows are getting a buff. Rank and file enemies damage against rank and file are up 10%. Sidearms and fusion rifles are getting the speed, the projectile speed's getting like 1,000,000%. Oh, that's the one with the frame rate issue.
About this this big issue with the
60 FPS.
hit scan?
And, yeah, the hit scan. Okay, that's why that is. So that's cool, you know. If we can
They're
ever
just fixing
find
a
an
bug.
Xbox Series X, it'll be worthwhile.
Do you even need to have a above 60? I don't know.
Some
know
people
what
do.
it'd be.
Some people need unlimited frames.
I remember when a clan member and also family member got the Xbox Series X initially, and I was over at his house and watching him, and he had like I forget what it was. I think it was the FPS. He had it bumped way up, and I was like, okay, I'm getting motion sickness. I can't even watch.
No, that
this.
wasn't FPS. That was field of view.
Sensitivity.
No, it was field of view.
Oh,
Field
the
of
field
view.
of view.
Yeah,
was too
field of view
wide.
can actually
Yeah.
make you a little woozy, especially on a big screen. Vex Mythoclast, which does anybody here own that? I don't think anybody has the Vex
No,
in
no.
this group.
Ghost does.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, if anyone deserves it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's getting a nerf, of course. Some reduced aim assist. It's a problem in Crucible, I know that. Yeah, so they're nerfing that. The Fighting Lion was an interesting one. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing to it, other than buffing it. There's a
think it
piece
has
of
something to
information
do with
missing
its-
here for me.
Something
It's like
having to-
easier to get a reload
Right.
buff.
Right. They reference a nerf that I don't recall happening to it. Oh, they're talking about the fact that it has infinite ammo is a problem.
Yeah, it's a primary weapon.
Yeah. And so did they nerf that somehow? Like, so
I
it's
think
not
they just
infinite?
nerfed the damage. Like like at the beginning of the
Okay,
season.
that's probably what I'm missing out on here, that things don't make sense. But they did buff the reload, like Romance said, and its duration as well. Arbalest now has intrinsic anti-barrier.
Next
That's
season.
me clapping, because the more things that have intrinsic anti-barrier or overload shot or whatever, the better, so that we can have a little more choice going into these legend and master, especially
I
the
really
legendary
feel like
lost
they
sectors.
need to be doing that with more of the exotics.
I was loving
So-
you saw me today. I did the legendary lost sector, the proving grounds, was it? Oh no, it was in
No. You were doing the one on the Tangled Shore.
Tangled Shore today. Yeah, and man, that Ariana's Vow was beautiful because it had the anti-barrier.
Oh yeah, I actually
It was so much
pulled out
fun.
Ariana's Vow, and I was like, this is actually a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. I just
might
got
have
the
been
catalyst
sleeping
for
on
it
Ariana's.
too. The catalyst is great because it gives it a bigger magazine, which it needs, so it's so much fun. Especially with a hunter, if you can dodge reload. Oh, it's so great. Sleeper Simulant is coming back, folks. An oldie but goodie. Sleeper Simulant. Increase magazine size from 3 to 4. Increase PvE damage 6%.
When do these all go in effect?
December
I
6th.
think yeah.
Okay, December update.
Yeah.
Right when the 30th anniversary edition comes out.
Do we have any Suros users in the pod?
Stego.
I've used my Suros quite a bit.
You may want to use it a little more, it looks like. Getting a huge buff. Plus 30 range,
Maybe I'll actually
plus
be able to
3
finish
zoom.
the catalyst for it.
Now's the season of the catalysts grinding, because if you're anywhere near through the if you're anywhere complete with the
What's your most
season
embarrassing catalyst that you haven't unlocked yet?
Wardcliff Coil. Or are you
That's
talking to
not very-
Stego?
Interesting. I don't think I even have it.
I'll say Bad Juju.
I think I got that one last season.
I went through an arm and a leg to get the catalyst, but I haven't unlocked it yet. So it's like why did I go through the so much?
Right, right.
I wish I had the Trinity Ghoul Catalyst. That
Yes,
Oh.
that's
seems
like
really
that's just so much fun. That's just Destiny being fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw Tiku's in there. I think those
I
two
highly
are just
recommend
great.
it.
Yeah, those are
Tiku's
like
is the solar version of Trinity.
that one.
some of them. You
That one
just
I am
need the
embarrassed that I don't
catalyst.
have the catalyst.
Risk Runner, I would really highly recommend getting a catalyst for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and now it's gonna be worthwhile getting the Cryesthesia 77K catalyst.
Yeah, I just unlocked that too
Oh, nice.
last season, so I'm excited about that as well.
Who remembers this golden oldie? Leviathan's Breath. I don't think I ever used
the
it,
name
really.
sounds familiar.
It's a bow.
a
It's
I
an
void-
exotic
I
bow.
remember when it first
void
came out.
bow that goes in the heavy?
Yeah.
It goes in the heavy slot, right?
Yeah.
It does. See, here's the thing. When you said that, I thought you were referencing Dragon's Breath from D1.
Oh, I loved that. I loved
Like,
that.
oh, I
Even
like
though
that
it
rocket
wasn't that
launcher.
great, I still loved it because it was just such a cool weapon.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. Dragon's Breath. Wow. Now you've got me inspired. I want to go back and play some D1 just to use that again. So Leviathan's Breath's getting some love. Whisper of the Worm, which I know our pal Richard's very excited about that.
How dare they buff Whisper of the Worm but don't bring back the catalyst?
Yeah,
How dare.
there's no mention of the catalyst, unfortunately. Darcy, of all weapons, is getting some love.
Who has the Darcy catalyst unlocked?
I'd have to go to
No.
Dim. I can't remember.
My Darcy
Yeah,
is 356 kills since I unlocked the catalyst. It looks like I unlocked the catalyst and then pretty much gave up on it.
Yeah. Well,
That's
it
kind
may
of
be
my
worth
go-to.
revisiting.
Like at the end of a season, I've done everything else. I'm gonna look and see which weapons I have the catalyst for, but I haven't actually finished it. And I try to grind them all out, so I get the catalyst and
increased
then just
damage
move
in
on to the
PvE
next.
is good.
Good.
Malfeasance. Gosh, I haven't used that in a while. They really want you to
That one
reach
seems
into
like
your
fun
vault.
too.
Huh?
It seems like it'll be a fun gun. I remember it being fun when it first came out. So.
Dead Man's Tail, which I've used a lot.
Does it need buffs? Why are they buffing this?
Less recoil, improved accuracy. We've seen this
Increased
scout
reticle
rifle's usage drop
action.
dramatically on console since the
it's
recent
console
nerf. There was a
only.
recent nerf that made
not
it
MNK.
tough on console players. So
Mhm.
they're compensating for that to get the console people to get back into using DMT. Heir Apparent Catalyst. Now they actually mention a catalyst here. There was a data error in the Heir Apparent Catalyst, resulting in it granting too much damage resistance against players. This has now been corrected. That was a PvP Crucible problem that they corrected.
That's funny, actually.
Lawrence
Whoops.
Driver.
Can we pause for a sec here?
Sure.
I actually saw something recently. Did anybody else here know that in PvP, if somebody has the Heir Apparent shield up and you hit it with your own Skyburner's Oath, cracks it, it's like super effective against the Heir Apparent shield.
Oh, there you
rock,
go.
paper, scissors there in the meta.
A little bit. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I wonder how Arbalest would do with the Heir Apparent shield.
Oof.
Too much damage resistance. Reduced damage resistance against players from 75 to 25. Woo!
Oh wow.
That's big.
That was a steep
Yeah.
damage resistance. In addition to a shield, that's crazy.
Oh, this brings up a good point. They talk about Lorentz driver. It's getting a little bit of a nerf. Removed ability energy regeneration on picking up a telemetry. Telemetry, is that
I forgot it did that.
Yeah, that's like seems like the only significance that telemetry had in the game.
No, it gives you it increases damage.
Telemetry?
Yeah, doesn't it?
What is
If
telemetry
it does, I
anyway?
didn't know. I thought
It's
it
a
was just to
specific
level
thing
up
that
the
the Lawrence driver
gunsmith.
does.
It's specific to the Lawrence driver.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
When you get a
Yes,
kill
yes,
with
yes,
it,
yes.
you drop like a little tag,
Oh,
and it's called a telemetry, and you go
that.
pick that up.
So, and then when we pick it up, it increases the damage, and now it doesn't also give you ability energy.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay. It
All right.
just gives you the extra damage.
It didn't need
The
to do
damage
that.
buff. Yeah.
Yeah. They
That
were
makes
just like,
sense.
oops, that's too much. Like, why does it do that?
That makes sense. Okay.
And then they adjusted Traveler's Chosen as well, similar to Lorentz driver. It seemed appropriate to adjust PvP. And changes aren't noticeable in PvE. So they did some PvP weapons tuning in that area. And then there's some perk adjustments with Adrenaline Junkie. Vorpal weapon perks are getting both a nerf and a buff.
Now, would you attend a Vorpal wedding, though?
Why not? I'm sure there's Destiny 2 themed weddings
At this point in the game, I would say yes.
where the groom is dressed up like Cade. Anyway, 15% damage on all weapons. That's what it was. It was across the board 15% increase in damage. Now it's 10% for heavy weapons, 15 on special, and 20 on primary. So they kind of
So
made.
primaries get a buff. Heavy got a nerf.
Yep,
Energy stays the
5%
same.
each way. Yep, no change to damage versus players in super. Whirlwind Blade got a nerf. Number of stacks needed to hit maximum damage from 5 to 10. Okay. Pulse
It's a
monitor.
lot of hits.
I like that though.
Yeah, I do too. Whirlwind Blade was kind of OP.
And
It's
it looks
kinda
like
like
to a point
it
where
was
I just
kind of
didn't even
annoying,
use
too.
Whirlwind Blade
Yeah.
anymore because it was just like too easy. Like almost just too much of
Well,
an easy
don't go
button.
that far, but yeah.
and
They'll probably stop the cheesiness for like when we were sorting Riven to death.
Then, yeah.
was it Riven? Yeah. Uh-huh. But also before that, what was that? The Dark
Pulse
Drinker.
monitor seems like a big buff.
Pulse monitor is a huge buff, I think. Changed threshold for activation from 90% health to 30% shield. Now requires much less damage to trigger. So it's probably going to just be activated every encounter you're
I
in.
literally only have 5 weapons with pulse monitor. That's how little I cared about it before, and that's probably on accident.
So the thing is, with these changes to perks, it moves what a god roll is around on a lot of weapons, I think, and what people are going to be looking for. And they warned us. They said you may want to get a Jurassic. What's the pulse rifle? The Jurassic, whatever it's called.
Jurassic Green.
Yeah. You may want to get one with Adrenaline Junkie, and we can see now why. Because they buffed that perk. Grenade eliminations boost the stacks immediately to 5x. That's amazing. All right, so that's pretty much it. And then there's a couple mod changes that they're doing. One I feel is very significant and pretty much... I was telling Salliebug, I feel like whoever is working the mod team, the people who are working on mods, are being really creative. Quick access sling. I don't even know what that is. The usage of this mod is very telling. It's extensively used on bows and breach grenades. So
I know what that mod does.
it improves
Let's
swap
ask the mod
speed, right?
expert.
It
Ask a mod
improves swap speed.
expert.
It improves swap speed when you empty the magazine.
Okay.
So that's why grenade launchers and bows, because that's just automatic.
Right.
Yeah, it's like the mod to put on your special ammo grenade launcher.
Adverb.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to the full auto.
And
I
the
almost
full
always
auto
keep something
retrofit.
when it
Yeah.
has it like.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they have that full auto retrofit as a mod. Are they going to take the full auto perk off of the weapons that might come with that? Like scout rifles
Right.
and pulse rifles that come and sidearms, that like any of those
Isn't there
come with full auto.
Yeah. Isn't there an
gonna
archetype that's full auto?
Are they going to change that perk to something else?
Yeah, I think they've
if you can put
decided that
mod
full
in there?
auto is just an accessibility setting
Right.
in Witch Queen, and so that's the direction they're going in.
Right.
Well, what's curious to me is what a full auto hand cannon's going to feel like. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a full auto hand cannon.
It'll be
Flash
interesting
Lord's
because it's
full
going to
auto.
be
Scout
so
rifle, pulse
slow.
rifle. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be weird.
Be useless,
interesting.
probably. We'll see.
But on like adaptive frame burst.
It said it for
Sidearms? That'll be nice.
particularly for fast firing semi-automatic weapons. So it must be the hand cannons that are fast firing, not like the really slow, clunky ones.
Well,
Sidearms too.
Yeah, it'll be nice, especially on sidearms.
I think so, yeah. I'm going to get rid of this.
Welcome, Sam and Liana. Just
Yeah.
another welcome from the minions of Mortimer.
Another welcome from
another welcome
from the community. Get rid of that. Oh, you know what it's time for? I just realized.
What's that?
It is time for the our first special segment of It's Time for Paracasual Loadouts. Yeah, Paracasual Loadouts. Time for our Paracasual Loadout discussion. Has anybody been running any kind of builds or pulled out an old exotic lately?
Kind of. Since we last spoke, I finally unlocked the final tier on Artifact, and I got particle deconstruction. So I've been using 1KB.
Nice.
Once you start using it, you can't stop. We actually, I did the same thing. I had 1K, and we got on with our clanmate Ghost yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, last night. And thought, okay, let's try to do that Nightfall. And we were trying to. Oh no, it was Thursday because we had Thursday off, and doing the Nightfall. We were trying to not Grandmaster, not high enough, not even Master. I think we were just doing the next one up, but we were trying to get the 100,000, which we couldn't do. We tried it like 3 times, and we just kept getting like 99,000, like literally 99,000, like 3 times in a row. It's just like, okay, it's just not gonna happen. But yeah, I pulled out the 1KV with that particle deconstruction. It's like, God, this is just silly fun. It's so much fun. I hadn't used it. Like, I got 1KV so late in the game in terms of getting it that I hadn't used it too much, and so it was it's fun to pull it out and be able to use it.
Blow yourself up.
Blow yourself
Yeah,
up.
I've blown myself up quite a bit with it.
That's
It's
fun
worth.
too. It's worth it. It's so worth it.
Yeah, Wardcliff coils like
No.
that as well.
Yeah, no regrets.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so today I was trying to work through some of the seasonal challenges that I haven't gotten yet. And one of them was solar melee kills. So I put on my Phidias spade, which I hadn't done in ages. Like I usually just put on my double dodge 6 coyote and like just live in that. So it was kind of fun to put on a different exotic and use that, and solar subclass for that matter. So, which I don't do very often either. So it's kind of fun to do something different and go out of my comfort zone. So as far as
Nice.
guns are concerned, I think I've just been mixing it up and doing different things, except for staying within the realm of the fusion rifles.
The Nightfall was rigged. We're getting word from the chat that the Nightfall was rigged.
It
Yeah.
felt rigged. It certainly felt rigged.
Yeah, it really did.
Which one
I
was
It was
it?
ridiculous.
Times and you get like 99,000. It's like, come on.
It was
And we
proving
killed, like,
grounds. It was the
absolutely
proving
everything.
grounds.
One time we actually
Oh, no.
waited to see if like another wave of ads would come out, but then you wait so long that your modifier starts going, like the timer, like the
Mm-hmm.
and
The
that your
timer.
points start going down. It's like this is it's just like we're not going to be able to do this, are we?
Yeah.
So
Well, a couple of things in terms of my loadout recently. Ever since episode 43, which is, 3 weeks ago, I've been using that Mr. Freeze build that Green Stego talked about in his Mod Academy. And it's been great. It's so much fun. I did get, I have the Augur's Scepter Catalyst, and so just lots of fun. And also today, I discovered a new YouTube channel. A fella named Divide does a different loadout every week. And it's pretty cool because he shows his loadout.
Oh, sounds like it's coming for Stego's job.
Yeah, no, it's cool because he does the loadout and then he goes into like a Grandmaster or a Legendary Lost Sector or a Master Lost Sector and talks about how he uses it, which is a little added benefit.
That's helpful, yeah.
Yeah. So that was the Ariana's Vow. I was on my Hunter, and so I did an Ariana's Vow Lucky Pants build for a Blade Barrage Hunter. That was a lot of fun. I got me through that Lost Sector really quickly. To try. I think I was going for legs, the exotic legs. I still need a lot of those exotics, by the way. It's like, Anyway,
Mhm.
let's see what's going on with Richard in there. He
You just said that the Nightfall was rigged.
Yeah, he's probably right. I don't know why we couldn't get 100K. I guess we weren't doing it fast enough. Anyway, do we want to move into our Touch of Grimoire segment? It's our Hexa Weekly segment. Are we ready to do that now?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's head on over to Touch of Grimoire. The Paracasual Destiny podcast presents A Touch of Grimoire. Salliebug?
yeah, so I thought we would touch upon how Spider is in a whole heck of a lot of trouble.
We knew it was coming.
we've been. I mean, well, I mean
He's been a
and I
bad
know
boy.
this has kind of been going on, kind of in the background all season, but again, didn't want to like talk about it for spoilers and all of that. Until plenty of people had enough time to do enough of the events and so forth. But there's a couple of pieces of lore that hint at this, and in addition, there's some interesting conversations that happen, and I think what I want to do is go over those conversations that happen specifically after astral alignment. There's like a 30-second dialogue that happens after you pick up your loot. And the ones that stood out to me were there was one where the queen asks Petra what Spider has done to help in the trying to get the Techians back, and of course Petra responds with none. And then another one that was interesting. I don't know if it's necessarily related, but at one point Glint says, "I think Spider still misses you," to
Glint
Crow.
is Crow's ghost, for those
Right.
who are in the know, like Salliebug.
so Glint says, "I think Spider still misses you." He's saying it to the Crow. And then Petra says, "Spider, Scorn, and Savathun, you're an atrocious judge of character," which means me kind of on a little, like, had me a little on an aside, like, why do Petra and Crow hate each other? Well, I think Crow doesn't hate Petra, but Petra really does not like Crow for some reason.
Well,
And
Petra was by our side when we hunted down Uldren.
that's true. So
Petra
she's
killed
Close to
Uldren.
Cade, and
So she's
in
holding a
some
grudge.
versions, she's the one. Yeah, they kind of left it up for interpretation, right?
She could very well be the one who put
Yeah.
the bullet in his
She
head.
could have been the one who pulled the trigger.
Sure.
But
It seems like she was
I mean-
never a fan of Uldren's attitude, and she also holds resentment against him for like opening the Dreaming City and releasing the Taken and the Scorn onto
And
Makes
the
sense.
killing
world.
Cade too. She was
Yeah.
close with Cade.
right.
But I think what Salliebug is saying is the Crow is
That was
not
Uldren.
Uldren. So what the heck is
Right.
Petra's problem?
Yeah, like,
Well,
she's just not
Petra-
coming around.
Might be of the belief, like some are, that certain traits get carried over
Right.
from
She's not convinced that there's
Awoken to Guardian, and she might think that, like, I don't want anything to do with you.
right. Anyway, that was a little bit of a side. So at one point in one of those conversations, the queen is talking to Glint again and says, "Glint, if you had to describe how Spider," and I'm not going to try to talk in the queen's voice, "if you had to describe how Spider treated Crow in a single word, what would it be?" And then Glint hesitates. He says, "I wouldn't want to offend." And he said, "The Spider is not here." And he says, "Horrible. He treated him like dirt." And then like just goes on like a diatribe. It's like, he was tortured. It was like kept going on. And then the queen says, "That's enough. I have all the information I now need."
Ooh.
So, and then the last one that comes up is after Savathun, after we are finished doing after we eradicate Savathun's worm or whatever, I'm sending my paladins. I want to send the paladins to the Tangled Shore and remove the spider and all his loyalists from the reef permanently.
Sounds like a coup.
Yeah.
They're going after the mafia boss.
All
Well,
right.
They don't call her the Queen's Wrath for nothing. Petra.
You've been listening
So-
to A Touch of Grimoire.
Not done.
He's trying to music you off.
You've also got a very weird. You've got like the slideshow screen.
Oh yeah, we're having some technical difficulties with our slideshow. Pardon our
Yeah.
dust.
Or dust. We're no
Pardon.
longer full screen.
Yeah, you're right. There we
So-
go.
At any rate, there's also a couple of lores that I wanted to bring up. The first one comes from the Wayfinder's shell. And I'm gonna have Green Stego read that for us.
Wayfinder's Shell. You ever hook a ghost's navigation telemetry up to a jump ship? Me neither, but there's a first time for everything. The Drifter. The sound of noisy chewing echoes down a long metal corridor in Spider's lair, interspersed by the beat of footsteps. You ever try any of this? Drifter asks, tugging on a length of chewy, battered meat clenched between his teeth. Spider ambles along beside him, pausing to give him a look. No, Spider answers, his respirator hiding the way his upper lip curls in disgust. What is that anyway? Your boy said it was chicken, Drifter notes, nose wrinkled. I'm thinking he ain't ever seen a chicken before. Spider's sigh is muffled. The reason I asked you here, he says loudly, forcibly redirecting the conversation, is because I wanted an honest, unfiltered opinion on the situation in the city. Tastes like petroleum and bubblegum, Drifter mumbles, pulling the wad of meat out of his mouth. Drifter. Drifter raises one brow as he looks back at Spider and claps a hand on the big Elixir's shoulder. Come on, I know what you're looking for, he says with a laughing confidence. You want old Drifter's seal of approval on moving your operation. Spider is silent, but resumes walking at Drifter's brisk pace. The Kell of Kells runs a tight catch, Drifter says as he flicks the chewed up meat onto the floor. That whole mess with the future war cult aside, things are looking up for his people. Drifter glances at Spider, then jabs his side with two fingers. Emphasis on his. A fine time for humanity to start differentiating between us, Spider sneers. But they let you stay there, so they can't be too discerning. Let is a bit strong, but I get your point. Drifter says, the hallway ends at a large pair of closed doors, unguarded, Drifter notices. Now that Marasov has returned, I think my days here in the reef might be numbered, Spider explains as he flips open a rusted panel, then keys in an access code. The doors jerk to life and slowly grind open. She may have some hard feelings over my little bird, he adds over his shoulder with a laugh. But let's be honest, she seems like the type to hold a grudge. A bright light spills past the open doors, and Drifter is eclipsed by Spider's shadow. So no, Spider says as he swivels to face the Drifter. I don't want your seal of approval. Spider steps to the side, allowing the Drifter to look more fully at what is hidden away in the hangar. A ship. I want to know if you can smuggle me out of the reef.
So, for sure, the Spider has gotten wind of Queen's wrath, and he just wants to get the heck out of Dodge. And it's interesting. So there's another piece of lore that came from the Lorentz driver Let's see. I still see a weird. I don't know. Are you guys
we
seeing
left
on the
full.
YouTube?
We left
slideshow?
present
Okay, there we
again.
go.
There we go.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, weird. So anyway, for the Lorentz driver, I'll read this one because it's shorter. Weapon system no longer explodes when trigger is pulled. Prototype 7.2.1 revision notes. What about this rifle? Scorso asks over the sound of two brigs moving cargo. Her overseer, a 3-armed vandal named Pixie, pulls back the drop cloth covering it. He takes a moment to assess the way the rifle is pieced together from non-weapon components, then motions towards where the brigs are walking. Good meals can still spoil, Pixie says. Bring it, but all these spare parts can be left behind. Scorso nods in acknowledgement, but instead of immediately returning to work, she sidles up close to Pixie, her eyes darting around the warehouse. Is this really happening? She asks in a whisper. Pixie steps away from her as she sets the rifle down on a nearby crate. Maybe, 2 hands in greeting, 2 hands concealed, it is a matter of survival. Scorso challenges Pixie's avoidance and circles around the crate, 4 eyes narrowed. Spider's scared, she whispers again. Isn't he? Pixie quickly leans in. You say that any louder and I can't protect you from what will happen next, he says in a sharp whisper, glancing over his shoulder. Where will we even go? Scorso asks, searching Pixie's many eyes. Her supervisor's answer is a backpedaling shrug. Don't know, Pixie lies and gives her a toothy smile. But like some Elixni say, the light provides. So, obviously there's something going on. So I don't know. And honestly, I didn't quite, and I'll take your guys' input, but I didn't quite know whether or not these Elixni are working as part of the Queen's desire to get rid of them, or if just the spiders, the Elixni that were working around the spider, working for the spider, were going to revolt and go against him. And anyway, I think he's getting it from all sides, is what I'm saying. And he's not long for the world of Destiny, as far as I'm concerned. You think he'll be removed from the game completely?
You sound like Drifter. He's not long for this world.
Do you think he'll be relieved? I mean, moved completely?
Yeah.
Well, the Tangled Shore is getting vaulted.
Well, yes, the Tangled Shore is getting vaulted. Do you think the spider is going to get smuggled out and that he'll escape and that he will return, or he's going to be eliminated? That would be that's my question.
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with him. He's as beloved as Cade, so. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Someone's gonna die.
Yeah.
Hello?
Oh, there you
Hello.
are. Okay.
Oh, were you saying something?
I think she was cut
Yeah.
out. Yeah, you cut out for a second there.
Mm.
Say it again, Romance.
Oh, just
About
that
Spider.
they did confirm that, spoiler alert, back in the game was not a coincidence and someone's going to die.
Oh, but everybody thought it was Osiris.
We'll see.
We'll see. It could be Spider now. They're toying with us.
I think it's going to be Mara.
What? No.
Really?
I don't see her going into Witch Queen. I think only one Witch Queen survives. I mean, only one queen survives.
I don't know how else Savathun would be able to escape into her own throne world.
But there can be more than one death.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. I just feel like Mara Sov has been such a huge part of.
That's why it would be so impactful.
Right, it would be.
She's also kind of a villain. You know?
Yeah, I mean, she's
villain
not.
figure.
She's not a likable character. I mean, I guess some people like her, but she's just been almost like this. We need her, and we have like this weird, uncomfortable alliance with her.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, it's weird to be in an alliance with someone who just kind of casually was in a sigh said, "Oh, I should have destroyed your traveler long ago."
Right.
Like,
Oh,
She's
yeah.
just-
What?
Good point.
Yeah. She's got like the this power. Maybe she will. Maybe she'll die. Maybe she won't survive this trying to eradicate Savathun after getting rid of her worm.
If
or
Mara
whatever.
dies, what will become of the
But-
Techians?
I don't know. And if
And the
Mara
Dreaming
dies,
City.
then does that mean that Crow would take over as the leader of the
Petra.
No.
Petra.
Petra before Crow.
Petra before Crow.
Petra before
Or
Crow.
the Techians could like stand on each other's shoulders and become one super Techian.
You've been watching
Then
too
they
much
would be the
anime.
Awoken.
I mean, Petra's not really related though. Is it like something that like has to be bloodline, or I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
It's
wow.
it's interesting.
There's-
stuff.
Back at work.
There's only been one Awoken Queen. They haven't had to have a second coronation ceremony ever, so it would just
Right.
be unprecedented, regardless.
There you have it.
Yeah. There we go.
All right.
A lot of questions, but what
Yeah.
we do know is that Spider is in a whole heap of trouble, and he for sure is going to go
He's in
away.
deep
even if
doo-doo.
it's not permanent. May not be permanent, but
All right. Are we ready
I
to
don't
move
know.
on?
I think they might. But
Are
yeah,
you ready,
we're
Sally?
ready.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
let's
much.
Move on.
As always, some good food for thought, and it is time for our next segment, which is the, you guessed it,
Non-Destiny media consumption.
non-Destiny media consumption. Go.
Green Stego. For Halloween, we watched Paranorman.
Oh, wow, you're going way back.
Yeah. Well, it's been 3 weeks.
It has been,
Okay.
yeah.
So you're gonna list everything we've watched in the past 3 weeks.
That's a
No,
lot
I'm
of
just
things.
saying
That's
it's
a lot of
it's
stuff.
a fun thing that we watched. It's a fun thing that we watched. Cut me some slack.
Let me ask you this.
here.
Could Paranorman actually become an annual tradition?
I think it makes the list for like the annual tradition movies that like
We
you
barely
know,
watch any movie every year. We usually just shuffle it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paranorman.
There's a lot
what
of,
was
like-
that about?
Paranorman?
Hmm?
It's about zombies.
I think we
isn't it?
watched it together at some point. It's by
Yeah.
Leica Studios. It's about a little boy who can see dead people.
Sounds
This-
And
this- this
communicate
premise, and it's
with
like
them,
a stop-go animation.
hmm
Yeah, it's great.
All right, go on, Green Stego. I'm sorry I gave you a hard time.
Been playing Animal Crossing 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
They just recently released the latest update for Animal Crossing, and it's great. And we also watched the movie Dune, which was fun.
Hey,
We did that last
We
night.
did that last night.
We had a Dune party last
So
night.
good.
It was
Dune
great.
date?
We were
Dune date.
ready.
Dan, what do we call our Dune date?
Did we not just call it Dune Date?
No, we had like a whole name for it. Oh, a matinee with Timothée Chalamet.
Oh my god.
That is what it was, yes. Can't believe I forgot.
You can imagine all the Dune themed birthday parties that are happening now too, since that's come out.
I mean, Dune's,
spice cakes.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, very good.
Everyone's having carrot cake lately.
Yeah.
Did y'all like the Dune?
Oh, it was great.
We liked it. We're ready for part 2
I'm
already.
I was
Yeah.
ready for the next one. So good.
It
Well
was
done.
almost the first thing you said to me this morning.
Yep.
I just want it.
I want more.
I want Dune part 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. I
Dune
wish
Part
they like
2.
had made it a series almost. I know the book is very long.
Yeah.
Well, I've been playing a lot of Game Pass games. A couple
Nice.
that I remember are Boyfriend Dungeon, which is 50% dating simulator, 50% dungeon crawler. And
Interesting.
it was great. It's very funny.
Wow, that
Yeah.
sounds great.
And then the other one was called Unpacking, and that is completely an unpacking simulator. But it's also a masterful way of environmental storytelling. And I really enjoyed it. And beautiful pixel art. But you're basically just going through and taking out items out of boxes and placing them.
She was almost literally, she was like emotionally blown away by Unpacking. I can say that when I came home that day and you had like tried Unpacking and you played it for a few hours, you were just like really out of it because it just like it.
Oh
just,
my
like,
gosh, I'm out of it like 90% of the time. I would
I
not
know, but
attribute
it
that to
obviously
Unpacking.
affected you.
Yes, I think it was
affected you.
very well done. I did say it was masterful.
She had an emotional response to
environmental
it. It was. I'm
storytelling.
looking forward to playing it myself.
Yes, it's very good. Unpacking. And both of those are on Game Pass right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we kind of put our Game Pass on hiatus for just the all
I know,
winter month.
I wasn't talking to you. I know,
I
that
know.
you gave up on
According
Game
to our
Pass.
viewers.
I didn't give up on it. We just didn't feel like we could like commit to it, like not take full advantage of it. But
Yeah, there's some talk in chat about whether they kill Mara or Petra. I just asked, who would you rather they kill, Petra or Mara?
Well, Richard said if they kill Petra, we quit, and I think I can agree with that statement.
Yeah, I'd rather see Mara go.
Yeah.
I guess.
I would love Mara's
I would definitely
ending
rather prefer
to be
Mara.
like a martyr type thing. Like she actually, for once, does like gives up her power to help the greater good. I think that would be kind of a cool, if not cliche, but I would enjoy it.
Richard says spider. Neither of them.
Yeah,
Spider.
can go.
It's a
And
it's a
we
possibility.
We're
all fine
Yeah.
with
A
spiders.
spider defender. Who wants
Yeah.
to defend Spider after what he did to Flint and Crow?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Salliebug, any non-Destiny media consumption outside of we watched Dune?
We watched Dune. We're dabbling in some like 70s/80s British. I mostly 80s, right?
Yeah,
80s, 90s,
80s and 90s
British
crime.
Yeah, dramas. Very, very
Some ones we've never seen
light-hearted.
before.
They're just like
Wycliffe and what's the other one we watched? Oh, with the
Cliff
Rose or something like that. Was it?
Rose and Malone.
Rose and Malone. That was it. That's really good.
So
Yeah.
they're pretty good.
And we couldn't put our finger on who was playing the part of Malone until you realized it was the crazed genius taxi driver from Sherlock.
from the first first episode
so
of
good.
Sherlock.
It's like,
remake.
And he's great. What a great actor.
Cumberbatch.
I forget what his name is.
Really good. So, yeah, I mean, and it's kind of like the easy listening of TV, right? You can just sit on the couch and watch it and not feel like you're, it's not
committed.
Overwhelming. Yeah, it's not overwhelming you in any way emotionally. So, so it's kind of nice to veg out to it and just. And I prefer the British dramas because I feel like the acting's just so much better. But that's just my bias.
Yep. Richard would probably disagree. But anyway, yeah. I watched, I'm going to put a plug in for an interesting documentary. If you're into sort of the history of goth and camp and all that stuff, Tubi is your number one free source with nicely spaced commercials that don't interrupt the content like some other streaming services. I watched a documentary called Mansfield 6667, which is kind of half documentary, half performance art. And it's about the last days of Jane Mansfield, the actress, and how bizarre her life actually was, especially towards the end before a tragic car accident in 1967. Really worthwhile, especially if you like David Lynch and that sort of thing. He's interviewed in it, as well as Kenneth Anger, who is the famous avant-garde sort of weird film, original cult film maker. He did a lot of really bizarre short films in the 50s and 60s that was part of the beatnik culture. Anyway, he's interviewed as well, and yeah, Mansfield 6667. And I think that's it. I think we're ready to wrap this episode up. Yeah?
Yeah.
Episode 44, and we are back in the saddle with our live YouTube broadcast and our archived audio. We'd like to thank our listeners for tuning in, especially Richard, who always is a pleasure to have in chat. And Richard, you're always welcome to jump in on voice too, if you feel like chatting with us. Join us live every other Saturday at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. And you can listen to the archived audio anywhere you get your podcast. Like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter if you have the guts, at Paracasual P. So until next time, it's goodbye from all of us here at the Paracasual Destiny Podcast. Bye, everyone.